Most people think that nights are when the world finally goes quiet, and the only time they truly have for themselves. A moment to rest, to disconnect, to finally stop reacting to everything around them. But in reality, nighttime is when your brain is at its loudest, and your subconscious takes over. You lie in bed, the lights are off, your phone is gone. You've completed everything you had to do during the day. There's nothing left to respond to. No one needs anything from you anymore. And suddenly, memories from years ago pop into your mind. Things you said wrong, decisions you wish you had never made, people you regret having any connection with, or even conversations you wish you could have all over again. Moments you thought were long buried quietly resurface. Have you ever wondered why this happens? Why does your brain choose the night to replay old mistakes? The answer is actually pretty simple and more human than it seems. Welcome to Philosophical Raccoon. Let's explore how the human mind really works. During the day, your brain is busy surviving. It filters information, reacts to noise, handles tasks, conversations, decisions. It's constantly adjusting to the outside world, moving from one demand to the next. There is no space for reflection, only action. But at night, something changes. The external world slows down and your brain finally has spare capacity. When that happens, it turns inward. Not to torture you, but to learn. Learn to make things better next time. Your brain is not replaying memories randomly. It is searching for patterns, looking for meaning, trying to connect cause and effect. When you remember a mistake, your brain is asking one question: what can I do differently next time? This process is called memory consolidation. It's the way your brain keeps useful lessons and removes unnecessary details, strengthening what feels important for the future. The problem is that your brain treats emotional pain and useful reflection the same way. Mistakes feel meaningful, so they don't fade easily. Think about it this way. If you touched a hot stove once, your brain would never let you forget it. Not because it enjoys the pain, but because forgetting would be dangerous. The memory protects you. Social mistakes work the same way. Embarrassment, rejection, failure. These moments carry emotional heat, so your brain flags them as high priority. They feel important because, to your mind, they once were. At night, when distractions disappear, those flags finally get your attention. There's another reason this happens at night. During the day, your prefrontal cortex, the rational part of your brain, is in control. It organizes, plans, and quiets emotional noise. It helps you keep perspective. At night, that control weakens. Meanwhile, the emotional centers of your brain stay active. This imbalance makes memories feel more intense, more vivid, more personal. That's why a small mistake can suddenly feel enormous at 2 a.m. You might think this means something is wrong with you, but it doesn't. In fact, people who experience this more often are usually more self-aware. They care about growth. They replay moments not because they're broken, but because they're trying to improve. The problem isn't thinking at night. The problem is how you interpret those thoughts. When your brain replays a mistake, it often removes context. It forgets what you were feeling at the time, the limits of what you knew at the time, and how much you've changed since then. Instead, it shows you a single frozen moment, replayed without empathy or nuance. That's where reflection loses its purpose and turns into overthinking. So what should you do when this happens? First, don't fight with your thoughts. Trying to force your brain to stop thinking usually makes it worse and causes you to think more. Resistance adds tension. Instead, acknowledge the memory. Say to yourself, "This is my brain trying to learn." That simple shift reduces emotional intensity. Second, change the question. Instead of asking, "Why did I do that?" ask, "What did this teach me?" Consider this an experience, not a verdict. Your brain is replaying the memory because it wants closure. Give it one. Even a small understanding can help the thought fade away. And finally, remember this. Your brain replays old mistakes at night not because you're weak, but because you're human. Growth doesn't happen in silence. It happens in reflection. The night simply gives your mind the space to speak. If you've ever felt trapped inside your thoughts at night, you're not alone, and you're not broken. You're just thinking in the quiet. If this made you reflect on your own nights, consider staying around. There's a lot more happening inside your mind than you think.